Hey guys, Johnny from Ignite here, and coming at you with a brand new video on a really important topic, which is about how to balance your analysis with specific parts of analysis of a text and the formal features that constitute that text as a whole. It's very important that you do both of these in an essay or in comprehension, that you merge them, that you deal with them separately at times, that you acknowledge the relationship between them and how they can enhance and feed into one another. All of these things are really important to really stand out to a marker and demonstrate your ability to appreciate not only language features such as metaphors, similes, imagery, but also the macro foundations of a text. And that can be the novel as a whole, the fact that someone is writing in prose fiction, the fact that someone has created a particular cinematic work. Those things are the formal features that need to be consolidated with the more specific micro pieces of analysis, such as camera angles in a film, or metaphors or similes, or the tone that someone uses when they speak. We want to have a nice balance of those. It's very important. It's going to make you sound a lot more sophisticated. And the first point I would flag to you is that when you do an essay and you're doing your body paragraphs, you want to make sure that you mention form explicitly at least once in each body paragraph, if not more. And when I say mention form, I mean mention the specific aspect of form that is relevant to your text. So that's why you should use it and how much you should use as a minimum. But let's see how you actually do it. So I'm going to use a quote here for the example. It's from Hagseed. I've been using these for a lot of examples just to be consistent. But remember, you don't have to be familiar with the text to appreciate the principle that I'm applying here. So the quote is, "Then he brushes his other teeth, the false ones. They don't fit very well. Perhaps his mouth is shrinking. That's all he needs for his upcoming finale, a denture meltdown." So what you can notice here is that there's a lot of techniques going on, there's a lot of imagery, but it's a very unique style of writing in that it's third person, in that it's saying he, but it seems to identify quite strongly with the subject's particular emotions and the way he thinks about things, which in this case is a character called Felix, who is actually the modern day embodiment of the character Prospero from Shakespeare's earlier work, The Tempest, and this is like a modern adaptation or innovation, if you like, 400 years later. So this character embodies this earlier character, and Atwood, the composer or the novelist here, has actually chosen to privilege his perspective, even though it's not written from his point of view. So it's a third-person limited narration. It's biased in a way. Okay, so that's very important. That's an aspect of form, and that's crucial to your understanding of how Atwood has put this whole text together. So that's some background context for those of you who aren't familiar with it, but keep in mind here, the formal feature I'm interested in is that third-person limited narration. If it was completely unbiased and objective, we could just call it third-person narration. So I want to merge that with a more specific technique as well, so I'll show you how I'll do that right now. As Felix brushes his teeth, and what I do, and you'll see that I tend to do this in a lot of my analysis, is that I actually start with a contextualizing statement. So I put the quote and the scene in context. Where are we in the novel roughly? What's going on? And I'm going to do a separate video on that as well. But as Felix brushes his teeth, the low modality, so I'm talking about a specific language feature here, the low modality, in that it's very uncertain language, as in perhaps. It's not confident, it's not definite. So we'll call that low modality. The opposite would be high modality. So we have the low modality used by the narrator as they suggest that perhaps Felix's mouth is shrinking as he brushes his teeth. And I probably have made an error there using as brushes his teeth, but we'll carry on. Outlines Atwood's stylistic choice to present her novel using third-person limited narration. So there's the aspect of form, there's the specific technique, and they're appearing in the same sentence so as to illustrate the way that one plays into the other. And that's really sophisticated. And if you can do that, you're going to really improve your writing. I go on further, though, to say what the actual effect of that limited narration is. Before I read this, just note, it's as if when I mention the low modality, that acts as the gateway into my consideration of this formal feature. So I'm using low modality to ease into this, and then I'm going to explain this even further in the next sentence. So by privileging Felix's perspective, the reader enters Felix's world and becomes exposed to all the quirks of his personality, ultimately serving to humanize his character to the reader. So by privileging his perspective, he's becoming humanized because clearly he's getting a more biased perspective on his side that Atwood is basically assuming as the narrator there. But keep in mind, I've also commented on the quirks of his personality. Like, I'm still using aspects of that quote, the idea about his denture meltdown and that he's worried about his mouth shrinking. That is a quirky aspect of this character's personality, and I've integrated that into the explanation of the form. So that's quite a sophisticated way to approach this, but it's very valuable if you can actually execute it, and I recommend trying it out with whatever text you're doing. Watch our video on form and see what aspects you could apply to your particular text. Do some research. You can view our resources on it to help you identify those, and then try and merge that together with a specific quote and technique to really stand out. So I hope that helps. I'll see you next time.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching once again. If you are enjoying our content, and we hope you are, please do like and subscribe to our channel, and of course, share with your friends.
That's right guys, thanks for watching, but please do make sure you check out our very special resources. They're quite unique. We've made a whole bunch of state rank practical guides for all your English texts out there. So check out the link now at ignitehsc.com.au. Let us know what you think. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next video.